Good afternoon, everyone. My name is Josh Heumann, and I'm the curator of education and public programs at the Power Plant Contemporary Art Gallery, just down the street on Lower Simcoe. We're pleased to present a series of 3 Power Talks during the Art Toronto Art Fair for the 10th year, and we extend our sincere gratitude to Susanna Rosenstock and the whole Art Toronto team. The Power Plant, located at Harbourfront Centre, presents contemporary art by Canadian and international artists, concentrating on emerging and mid-career artists who have often not yet had a solo exhibition in Toronto or in Canada. Just 2 weeks ago, we opened our Fall 2016 exhibitions featuring the work of Ito Barada and Maria Loboda, on view until January 2nd of 2017, and a site-specific commission by Latifa Eshaksh, on view through May 14th of 2017. To complement exhibitions, we offer numerous education and public programs each season, so please check us out at thepowerplant.org. The Power Plant is also participating in Edition Toronto, the book fair downstairs, featuring a selection of exhibition-related publications and limited edition artworks, all with reduced prices, of course, for our members. So if you're not already a member of the Power Plant, please become one. This is the second Power Talk this year. Yesterday, we heard from Fauz Cabra, an independent curator who had previously been working on the Guggenheim's Abu Dhabi project. And she spoke about contemporary art in the Middle East from the Persian Gulf War to the present, in a talk titled Rock the Kasbah. Tomorrow at 3 p.m., we'll hear from Diego Bianchi, an Argentinian artist, about his unconventional studio practice as he re-examines the ideas of progress, value, law, education, and beauty in a talk titled Impurity. But today's Power Talk speaker is Carla Fernández, and her talk is Dances and Ceremonies. Carla, a Mexico City-based artist and fashion designer, was one of 11 worldwide recipients of the 2013 Prince Claus Award, which recognizes artists whose cultural actions have a positive impact on the development of their societies. Her contemporary take on handcrafted methods is proving that ethical fashion can be striking, avant-garde, and forward-looking. How can fashion be ethical? Well, Carla travels throughout Mexico, helping young artisans understand that in the face of today's fast fashion, they can earn a living by continuing their family's tradition of creating handmade textiles using centuries-old techniques. Her fashions have been featured in all major fashion publications, including Elle, Vogue, and the New York Times Magazine, and she has exhibited at Boston's Isabella Stewart Gardner Museum, Mexico City's Museo Jumex, and more. So please join me in welcoming Carla Fernández to the stage.
Hello, my name is Carla Fernández. I am a Mexican fashion designer, and I am very happy to be here with you. I've been traveling, the last 10 days I've been in 5 different places, and I'm so happy to be here again at Canada. We had the same exhibition that we had at the Isabella Stewart Gardner. A small version of it was at Montreal 2 months ago at the Mexican Institute. So I'm going to tell you today what do we do. We are a big team from designers, artisans, entrepreneurs in Mexico. And we believe, first of all, that the future is handmade, which is very important for me. Now I am giving classes at MIT, and I don't know why they call me, because actually we do exactly the opposite, but obviously there's also all this preciousness on how hands can be amazing And when you see the weavers that I'm going to show you, how they have like all the designs in their heads, so they're completely amazing. This presentation is called Dances and Ceremonies because it's our Spring-Summer 2017 collection. We are working with different dancers and with different shamans from Mexico City and from other regions of America to bring the power of clothing as well as the power of dancing, as the power of healing, all through clothing. So these are the feathers of an eagle that they're all embroidered in Chiapas, and the fabric is made by foot loom. It's a rebozo, what we use in Mexico to carry the children. These are some gifts that a friend of mine makes. Jaime Martinez, he's very good, and he mixes a lot of medias. This is Diego wearing a barragán, that this piece, you can actually play with it a lot, like what they do in the communities, that you can have a skirt, that skirt can be a cover, that cover can be then a blanket or tapete, digo, como un, donde comes, un tablecloth. So it's very special for me also how in the communities you only need a few garments, and also to stop like this consumption that now we have, that we're like, buying maybe, I don't know, there's people that buys 30, 40 pairs of pants every season because it's so cheap, and it doesn't make sense. This is again the same shawl. And this is the tecuan. The tecuan in Guerrero, in the south of Mexico, we have this dance that is called the tecuan, the jaguar. So these are the jaguar's spots that they keep you safe for many things. No? So they keep you safe for the mal de ojo. When someone wants to be evil with you, they just reject. And it also gives you the strength of the jaguar. I'm going to show you every garment that we make with the different communities that we collaborate with. It has a video, because it's very important for us that you understand the technique. If you don't understand the technique, then you don't understand the richness of what we are showing to you. So this is San Juan Chamula in Chiapas, and this is a process of backstrap loom in wool. This is Maria. She's an amazing artisan, and she's using the same elements that they were used 3,000 years ago. This is the malacate, and then it goes to the backstrap loom that, imagine that with 8 sticks, nowadays, you can do beautiful fabrics, only that. And what is amazing in San Juan Chamula is that in exchange for their wool, they don't eat the lamb. They don't eat meat from the lamb. So you will go and you will see like all these sheep free, amazing, no? And then you will see the process, the dyeing process. Well, now they have, since like the 70s, a fashion that it has the longest, the hair of the woven fabric, the most precious. So these you have to soften with the feet, the fabric, so you can take out the threads. And then this is the dyeing process, which is made of mud. It's full of swamps around the cities, well, the little communities. And then you fix the color with plants. And the black never fades out. So when you're a fashion designer or you like black, you know that tends to fade a lot, you know? And this one, 100 years, the same black, amazing. You don't eat the sheep. You have like a super balance between the cities and the rural communities. So it's completely amazing. And these garments are only made for themselves because they're very expensive and they take them a lot of time to do. So when you go to Chiapas and you go to the little markets, you will see that they are not selling these beautiful pieces because the tourists don't understand how rich these processes are. So that is exactly what we do. We show how beautiful these processes are and how amazingly complex. And after that, you will understand the price of it. So this is, I work with the best. I am super happy and privileged to work with the best artisans. And also, for the best artisans, you have to have the best photographers. So this is Graciela Iturbide, that she is an amazing photographer. She has won the Hasselblad Award, and she exhibits all over the world. And I am very happy that she likes our clothing, so we exchange clothing for their beautiful photographs. And this is Liliana Dominguez. She's a SETI model that lives in New York. These are, I'm showing you some of the basics that we have. Those are the whisks, the bracelets that we do that come from the chocolate whisks that I will show you later how we do them. This is a rebozo that on top is embroidered by another ethnic group, the Otomis, in the state of Hidalgo. So this is also like cross-pollination because one fabric that is all hand woven, it's also hand dyed. Then it goes to another community to be embroidered. And we use a lot the squares and rectangles because when I started doing fashion, the ladies in the communities are always listening to their clients because they have to live of what they sell. And the clients come and they say, like, oh, but why don't you do something more waisted, and why don't you put sleeves and something that looks more sexy? And, and they try. We all try because that's our job, no, to sell. But it doesn't belong to us. We don't have that tradition. So it's like asking a Mexican to do an amazing pizza or to do an amazing hamburger, you know? So we were like trying, and then suddenly, when I started going to the communities, I said, it's like, no, we're doing something wrong. Why are we so keen in doing something that it doesn't belong to us? So I put out like the measuring tapes, you know, like the measuring, las cintas métricas. Yes, the tape measures. I throw away also like the sewing machine. We had like a portable sewing machine. I was like, no, this is not working. So you have to show me how you do the things because you have done this for 3,000 years instead of the other way around, you know? And I think that has worked a lot. So 80% of our garments are squares and rectangles. That is the way that they do fashion. And we have a workshop that is called Taller Flora that goes to the communities and shows them how to do new designs based on the DNA of their work. We mainly work with communities that ask us to work with them. 90% of the communities, they call us to go and do something with them. That also changes the whole situation. This is the same skirt that you saw, the traditional one. The backstrap loom, it's very narrow. So you can only weave like the length of your arm. And you stitch two of these cloths together. And the only thing that we did was unstitch them at the size of the elbows. And we sell them in New York, Toronto, Japan, everywhere. So it's very simple. And we just kind of unstitch certain pieces just to make something more wearable for Western women or men. That is like a dress, again, with mini molinillos, the Mexican whisks to do chocolate. And for me, also originality means returning to the origins. So I am very lucky to live in Mexico. We are the third world after China and India with more ethnic diversity. And compared with them, we're a very tiny country. So these are some of the artisans that we work with. Aquí está Marush, Natalia, Maria. And you go on, this is Chenaló in Chiapas. So when we started to work in the communities long time ago, when I started going first to Oaxaca and then to Chiapas, and now we're all around. As we said, I was a typical Mexican that didn't know that well my country. So when I went there with my measuring tape measuring, I was trying to do something that it didn't belong to us. So I just sat down with them, stayed there for months and months, and they will come and they will bring me whatever they do. And we had to decide all together on the creative process. That is also very important for us, that they are also involved in the creative process. And we work with communities that don't speak Spanish. So we had to develop a pedagogy that is all based in its visual. Because most of the time, the translator is a man, and they have like a lot of political and also it's like very tricky, and at the end they have like other agendas, so the translation is lost in translation. So we decided to do these huge books that we carry to the communities, and we show how what we call the square root, that is a name that we gave to this way of making clothing, because we use the squares of Mexican patterning and we use the roots of Mexico. So we show maybe in Oaxaca how a tarahumara, from the north, uses the same technique, or how in Michoacán they do also make designs with only squares and rectangles. So when they start knowing that this is an amazing way of doing clothing, and you can do anything, you can do circles, triangles, pleated, because what happened in Mexico is there's a lot of communities at the moment, or First Nations, that still use wraparound skirts or wraparound clothing. But in Mexico, what happened is when the Spanish came, they just started to copying the silhouette of the following the body, like very tailored. But they always kept the cloth as it was. They only make darts and pleats. They never cut it, even if they are like the ones that they were actually doing the clothing of the Spanish women and men. So it became like a Mexican type of origami. So we're doing that, and it's very nice because then they are also part of the creative process, and not just as a lot of designers that work with communities. It's like, okay, do these with your technique, and that's it, no? So this is San Andrés, La Rainsar. This is a Zapatista town. Rosa, here she's a Zapatista comandanta. I don't know how you say that. Commander, yes. And we work very intensively in Chiapas. This is Don Juan and Miguel. They do the chocolate whisks. And how do ideas come to us? In Mexico, there's 2 little towns that do chocolate whisks, and they sell them very, very cheap, and they use woods that are not supposed to be used. They're illegal. So this is Don Juan. He's a one-man chocolate whisk artisan. So I came to Don Juan. I actually looked for him. And I said, Don Juan, how's the business going? And he said, well, Carla, no one is buying anymore the chocolate whisks because they are in padware, so you don't need that. And Mexican houses already have a chocolate whisk. So he says, why don't we blow up the rings of the whisks and make bracelets and make earrings and make shoes? sunglasses, and seriously, we have sold so many, and he's so happy, and we're more happy, you know. And now there's a huge trend about in these two towns to make lamps, tables, chocolate whisks, a lot of things. The black is burnt, so it also never fades away. And he has a visa, so because he so he can come and give classes all around the States and Canada. He loves to travel. And obviously, we are now using the wood that is certified. And also, that is something very important is the family. He has young kids, like 20, 25, and they didn't want to be artisans. Now, 3 of the 8 kids want to be artisans because they know that they can live out of their practice. So for me, that means a lot. And coming back to the square root, why in Mexico and a lot of places around the world, the beginning of the fashion is the textile. So why would they wanted to cut that? Because the textile actually comes from text. In the communities, maybe they don't know how to read, but they know who they are and what they want to know because of the garment that they are wearing. This is a huipil triqui from Oaxaca. This actually takes around 3 years to be made, and every single line is completely different. It's called worms, and in the middle is when it becomes a butterfly. Around the face, you have the sun, that is like the rays of the sun, because the most pretty parts for the indigenous communities in women are the hands, the feet, the hair, and the face. And then it's beautiful because you start weaving these 2 worms that you have at the end, and then they turn the loom to the other side, and they end weaving at the beginning. So it also means the eternal cycle of life and death. This is how we show in the communities the potential, design potential of the square roots. It's much more complex, but I know we don't have that much time. So we show like how 1 piece of cloth can be a wrap-around skirt, 2 can be a poncho, 3 a huipil, that it's like a short blouse, or can be a long dress, 4 a blouse, pants, shirts. So we have a Mexican way of doing fashion. And this comes from Spain. So these ones that you see already here, these are adaptations from, obviously, the conquest and after. So you don't see that it's that rigid, and it can be also very trendy and cool. Again, this is the Tecuan collection. I love architecture. So you will see that again and again, all our photos also represent architecture. These are photos by Ceci Young. We have amazing wool in Mexico that goes to Italy. We never see it. It's like the erizo, ¿cómo se dice? Urchin that goes to Japan, so that happens to our wool. These are rebozos made in Tenancingo, Estado de Puebla, Tlaxcala. That is crochet made in Mexico, and the shoes are from Guadalajara. So you have like 5 different states. We have also very nice cotton from Puebla. And again, if you unstitch it, you will see that it has like these square shapes that it's part of our line. This is dances and ceremonies. Next is in We're starting to work with Puebla. That is a new state that we're incorporating. So every year we try to start working with different communities. We keep working with the communities that we already work with. This is grana cochinilla, that is the little bug that it grows in the cactus. And Mexico at the colonial times used to export silver and cochinilla. So this is Hueyapan. And these are the spirits that are made in San Pablito, Pahuatlan. The spirits are, they're basically made on bark, paper, and you offer them to the land so you can have like a very good harvest. And this is Maria Sabina. These are the chants of Maria Sabina that she says, I am the woman that is going to heal you. I am the woman that is going to accompany you. I am the woman that is going to lead you. 90% of the textile artisans in Mexico are women. And they wanted to learn shibori, so we went to the internet and we're doing shibori now through the internet. And that is Oaxaca. That is a friend of mine that is doing those ponchos that we asked him. And that is indigo blue. I always work with Ramiro Chavez, that he's an amazing artist that makes all these films for us and the photos. Unless I tell you that are from Graciela or from Ceci, all the other photos and videos are from Ramiro. And this is a house by Javier Senosiain. He's a Mexican architect that makes organic architecture, which is crazy. He makes beautiful architecture. You can find, when you buy a garment from us, we send you by email the video of who made your clothing. You can also see them on the stores, but we have a YouTube channel that you can go and see every technique that we work with. This again is the tecuan. These are the jaguar of the teeth that is made. It's Tlaxcala, Chiapas, the state of Mexico, and also Tlaxcala. Those are our spirit capes. Pedro, my husband, is an artist, and he makes. We work together for the masks and the exhibitions. He helps me with the display. This is a poem from Nezahualcóyotl, a little phrase that says, "Here come the flowers that cause vertigo." This is one of the communities that we work with since 10 years ago, in El Nante, in Hidalgo. So they have like all these drunk women and men that they draw over and over. And so this is a drunk lady, and at the back you have like the drunk guy. And we also make a lot of masks. That is Don Santos in Guerrero. And this is a traditional dance that we are working with. Es Pisaflores in Veracruz. So this is a traditional video, o sea, traditional dance, a festival. We just had a catwalk 2 days ago at the America Society in New York, and this was, you could see like the Diablos dancing around the America Society with our show. And the performers were Silas and Rashawn, that they used to dance for Merce Cunningham. We did the same performance at Singapore in a very nice festival called Open. And here, that's why you see like this more Asia look, and the ladies as well, the models. So maybe you're familiar with the powwow dance. no, to ask for the rain. So long time ago, when they gave me the award, I was here in Canada, and I found a beautiful dress that had all these jingles in Banff. So when they asked me to go and get the award, I thought I would be very nice to receive from the hands of the Queen and the King, dressed with these beautiful dresses that are made of cans. You know, they are made like all of can, and they jingle, and it was very, for me it was very important to be dressed as a queen as well, but with cans. This is from another place in Mexico that is called Cipiajo in Michoacan, and those are also jingles, and we're making these dresses with the community as well, and the ribbons, which are also very well known for the dances and the tradition in Mexico. This is also a basic of us. And here you see the more commercial line as well. For me, it's very important that a lot of our clothing is unisex, because, first of all, I think it gives more longevity to the clothing, that you can use it in many different ways. And also, I believe that now we're erasing like all that gender, you know. This one, I have so many, I think more male, more guys than girls have it. This was a space that is in Mexico City. This is CEU, la Universidad de Mexico. And actually, my husband, they made a horrible building, which just ruined the whole view of this amazing land art piece that was made 40 years ago. So this is a nice tunic, because the dean of the university is an ophthalmologist. So it says, salvemos el espacio escultórico. No? So we also use clothing to promote what we want to say. And it was so fun, because the director of the museum of the university bought one in San Miguel de Allende. And she never read what she was wearing. And someone says like, oh, one of the curators says like, oh, I'm happy that you changed your mind. And I was like, why are you saying that? It's like, you haven't read what you're wearing. I was like, and she actually tried to change it. It's like, oh, no, I cannot wear this. These are our guayaberas. They are like the Caribbean shirts for men, but we do them kind of different. Again, the molinillos, wrap-around pants. And we do a lot of our things have to do also with unisex and one size, and because it's much easier. We also have to be commercial, and we have to be clever, and to start like fighting in this huge world that is called fashion. So a lot of our clothing is a wrap-around and one size, and it molds to a lot of different bodies. This is the Isabella Stewart Gardner Museum. We not only like to do fashion, as you can see, we do exhibitions, we do books, we do a lot of workshops, we do videos, and this is what we made at the Gardner that after went to Jumex. Every color will explain you a state, a different state. We couldn't place all the states that we work with, but we chose 5. The Gardner was 2014, and Jumex was this year. And then it went to San Francisco, to Heat Ceramics, to LA, Montreal, and it has been, this is Jumex this year. Another technique that is beautiful, that is It's this one, actually. They are male artisans, and they cut by hand all the leather. So this is the technique that you would use to lace the cows when you're a cowboy, so the clothing will not tear out, and it's beautiful. So this is haute couture. Everything that we've seen is as beautiful and complicated as any house of haute couture in France, but it's just a different way of making it. We had a large table in both exhibitions, and we gave 40 different workshops, and it was crazy. It was local artisans, artisans coming from the community, designers. This one is our last book that shows exactly how we work with the communities and what has worked for us and what has not worked for us. And we give workshops all around the world. We teach you how to make Mexican clothing in 3 hours. And it's very nice. For me, it's very important that you understand how the complexity of making your own design, that you wear it, so you just know, throw it away. Aquí está Cecilia. Cecilia has been with us to the States to 3 different exhibitions. And she just won an award for her designs, her own designs in France this year. And some other workshops. This one down, it was in Singapore. So that is a little peek of what we do. Thank you.
Hi, everybody. My name's Tim Chandler. I'm from the power plant. We are now going to open the floor for questions. So if any audience members have a question they'd like to ask Carla, just please raise your hand and I will bring the microphone to you. Also, please remember to speak directly into the microphone or else we will get feedback.
Carla, you mentioned that there was an avenue for your clothing in Toronto. Can you share with us where that is?
Sorry, can you say that again? La tienda here in Toronto?
Mm-hmm.
I don't think we're selling in Toronto.
I
No, we're not. We would love to. Yes. Yes, we have to. We have an online shop, and you can buy, and we'll send it all over the world. Yes, and it's very easy, carlafernandez.com, and you can buy from there.
Okay.
Yes.
With my students in Mexico, I teach them, and then I have the ones that I teach become the teachers of the next group.
Mm-hmm.
When you're working...
I think they cannot hear you. Sorry.
What I'm asking is the people that you teach, the women that you teach, I noticed in one case you had the subcomandante.
Uh-huh.
I don't know if she became like a instructor or do you have people who you work with then go and teach other women in the in other communities or only within each community?
No, we work like that. We work with
Tutores.
Yes,
Yeah.
with tutors that will later spread what we have done together or what they have done with the community. Suppose in Chiapas, like when Pascuala was there, the ladies in blue, we teach or we sit down with only 20 women, but there are 70, but they live very far away or they cannot come because they have like other family compromises or they live very far away. So we only sit down with 20, and with Antonia, that it's also not far from there, we sit with 40. And with Don Juan, we sit with 1. So it's very complicated because every single community is different. With Maria, it's only 3, and but it's always changing.
What's more important for them, the money or the autoestimo?
Both. No, obviously, when I work with the communities, they always tell me that we should also go and give like workshops of different things, like empowering women, and I don't know how to do that. I am a designer, and our team goes, but I have seen how giving money to the women and winning their money has changed a lot of things in the community. And they actually know how to use their money. And so for me, I am very happy with that. We work with different, there's a lot of things going on in the communities, but what we do is we partnership and we sit down and we sit there and we become like a team, like a teamwork. Yes.
Carla, can you talk a little bit more about your collaboration with MIT? Can you describe if you're teaching traditional techniques or if you are mixing traditional with like high technology?
No, actually, I am teaching what I know what to do. So this is what I know what to do. I'm very bad with the other thing. I have a very young team that they're very good doing that. No, but we're actually doing, we're doing an opera with the students of ACT, of their postgraduate, and we're doing an opera. And they're doing their clothing as they are doing their clothing. So squares, rectangles, put it on, place it. So that's what we are. And I'm doing that workshop with my husband, Pedro, so he's taking care of other sets. But at least several students of MIT are making the square root.
I'm wondering, when you first went into the communities, how did you gain the trust of the women? Like, how, if you can describe how they came to trust you instead of being suspicious.
It's very important, as I said before, they call me to go and work with them. So they're expecting me already. So obviously you go there and you have to walk, and maybe they've never seen a lady with short hair. No, so they're like standing there and it's like, who are you? Are you a guy or a girl, or where do you speak? No. And but my father used to be the museum director of the Museum of Mexico when I was very little. So he used, when they discovered a tomb in, I don't know, Palenque, we used to travel with him. And that's how I fell in love with the Mexican clothing, with the traditional clothing. So I've been like running around like pyramids and museums all my life. So for me, it's very familiar. And I think when there's trust and when you do things like very open and clear, and it works a lot. And we are friends, most of us, because the work keeps going every single time. Every single season, even if it's hot, you have chamula. You will have chamula in a bag, or we're sending chamulas to another country that is cold, So we have a very intimate relationship because we work all the time together.
Congratulations, I really like your presentation, first of all.
Thank you.
And my question is, with so much political instability going on in Mexico, how do you feel going to the communities? Do you go with your husband? Do you have security, or do you just go and...
There are some communities that I cannot go, and I cannot send no one from my team. My husband doesn't come with me, never. He has another thing. He has other things to do. But there's some communities, like for example, where Ayotzinapa was. Since 10 years ago, I could not go there because it's a terrible situation. We know when to go, and they call us and tell us. It's like, no, this is a good time to come, or it's not. And Mexico is, it's a very complex country. It's a beautiful country. I feel very safe there, and but we have to work a lot, and this is how we combat. So it's either us or people that are like the opportunities that you have to win cash, actually, because from the 70s, it changed from the land. Let me be clear. The se- until the 70s, the men grew food from the land, the man. So the crafts were only to exchange. No, I make blouses and you make pottery and I need pottery and I will, so they were exchanging. So now also it's a mess because the land stopped, the men had to come to the States for better opportunities and the women stayed. And they had to sell their craft. They didn't know how much because it was a trading situation. So it's a mess. We show them how much they should be winning because they're losing. That's also part of the workshops that we give. So that's what we do, So we have to give opportunities of work and to give opportunities to make a balance between the cities and the rural and the communities, the rural communities. Otherwise, this whole planet, either you live in Canada or you live in Sweden, or it's not fair, And it's not fair because it's like, for example, when I go to the communities, I see that it's us, the Japanese, that are like working with some of the pigments that were, and the drug dealers, only, no more, no one. So I have gone to the government and says, like, I want to work with these people in these communities, like, we're not going to be there. We're not going to get inside there, no? So also we have to be very, like, it's like, okay, so these are the three things that are giving opportunities, And then you come, and you see, like in the States, people smoking marijuana, and it's like, okay, but don't be killing like a whole country or like countries around. So we have to start like talking about all these things because fashion is also political. So in my country, it's very political. And to make like, be aware of what we're doing with these people that we believe that they're invisible. It's like when you see the Zapatistas wearing their ski mask, they use the ski. Do you know why they use a ski mask? No? And what they say is like, why do they want to see our faces now when no one saw us before? And now they became more evident when they're hiding, but no one was like looking at them. So that's why we are there. We really believe that Mexico is a cultural power and that we can get against anything through culture and through art. So that is at least my aim, and several people that are like fighting like that, and in the communities as well. So Maestro Toledo, he's a big fighter and he's spectacular, and he has changed Oaxaca with his paintings, and he's now doing all these symposiums in Zapoteco in their like traditional languages, makes cines, museums, and all that. But you have to have like a lot of energy.
Hola, Carla.
Hola.
Congratulations. Something that might be interesting is to talk about the very beginning of you going to work with these women and talking about tradition, and by you giving the means to these women of emancipation, how hard it was for them to turn around the coin, and suddenly the men that they were submissive to, suddenly they were the empowered ones, the emancipated ones that transformed economically their very small villages or groups.
We are very lucky because we work with a lot of women that they are already super women. So in the communities, just to be balanced and to be alive, you already have to be like very brave and very balanced. So I don't see, and I am very distant also in that, because if I get more involved, it becomes a mess. So, and I see them being more happy and their houses being more safe and, like, well, so like much better quality of life. But I have never presence, like a violent scene, or we had once, and we actually called a lawyer, and we were like very, like involved in that. And I think the women in the communities are super brave, and they're super strong because they have to sustain, like the most terrible situations, and they don't sleep. So they wake up at 4 o'clock, prepare the breakfast for the kids, take the kids to school, work, do their business, come back, attend their cultural affairs, and then again. And they're amazing women, amazing women, and we just try to make easier things for them. And our clothes that we make, instead of taking 3 years to be done, actually I help them with that. So forget about the tablecloths that is going to take you 4 months. Just do this little thing. You're going to get as much money in 5 hours than in 3 months, and focus on that. And you'll do your beautiful tablecloth whenever you want, but you have also to be focused on the business part of it without losing the tradition.
Okay. Thank you, everybody, for attending this Power Talk. That is all the time we have for questions. We hope to see you tomorrow at 3 p.m. for our final Power Talk featuring Diego Bianchi. But otherwise, please help me in thanking Carla for delivering this wonderful talk.
Thank you.